नमस्ते दोस्तों, मैं हूँ डॉक्टर मिहिर शाह और आपका स्वागत है हमारे कॉमर्स एजुकेशन चैनल पर, जहाँ पर हम डिफ़िकल्ट टॉपिक को ट्राई करते हैं मोस्ट सिंपलेस्ट मैनर में सॉल्व करना। आज के इस वीडियो में हम एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड टॉपिक करने वाले हैं, जिसे हम कहते हैं टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई अंडर जीएसटी। अगेन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियो फॉर ऑल द TYBAF स्टूडेंट्स अंडर द सब्जेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन। ओके, अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई होता क्या है। तो इन सिंपल टर्म्स, टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई डिसाइड करता है कि टैक्स कब पेएबल होगा, यानी किस डेट पर जीएसटी लाइबिलिटी अराइज होगी। इस वीडियो में हम समझेंगे व्हाट इज टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई, द बेसिक रूल्स एंड प्रिंसिपल। ओके, गुड्स और सर्विस के लिए अलग अलग प्रोविजंस क्या है अंडर टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई, और कैसे प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स हम सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा हमें एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड। ओके, सो अगेन अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियो फॉर ऑल द TYBAF Sem 5 स्टूडेंट्स। ओके, और हाँ, अगर ये वीडियो पसंद आए तो लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब जरूर करना। तो चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं कि व्हाट इज टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई अंडर जीएसटी। The name of the chapter is time of supply. Now, under time of supply, we have two parts. One is time of supply of goods, and second, time of supply of services. So, we are going to start with the very first part, time of supply of goods. Now, under this, there are multiple types of sums that can come. Okay, so we're going to start with the very first type. Time of supply when there is no movement of goods. Okay, very important. If there is no movement of goods, how to solve the sum? Okay, and how to identify that particular sum? Okay, time of supply when there is no movement of goods, there are some rules that needs to be noted down. Okay, so this will be the best thing will be once you all go through the video, see that you all just note down the heading and the rules and keep it with yourself. Okay, because that is very important. Okay, the time of supply for goods when there is no movement of goods is the earlier of the following: time of removal or when the goods are made available, and date of invoice. Okay, so here the rule, you have to remember this particular rule. Okay, we have the date from where the goods are made available and the invoice date, whichever is earlier will be your time of supply. Okay, when there is no movement of goods, so the key is this goods made available. Okay, so if you look into the question, there's one question which we are going to solve. Serial number is given, date on which goods are made available. This is the keyword. The moment you see goods are made available, understand this is a sum where there is no movement of goods. We have been given date when the goods are made available, date of invoice, and date of payment. Now, in order to identify the time of supply, the rule is date when the goods are made available or invoice, whichever is earlier. So we have to compare between these two. Okay, A and B, and whichever is the earlier date, that will become your time of supply. This chapter doesn't have any solving part. Okay, you just have to identify the date. So 7 December and 30th December, the one whichever is earlier is your time of supply. So in the first example, your 7 December is your time of supply. In the second, again, we only have to compare the first and the second column. 5th December and 24th Feb. Feb comes way early than December, so my answer will be 24th Feb 21. 16 November and 26 November. 16 is the earlier date, so 16 November is the time of supply. 28th Feb and 22nd Feb. Okay, 22nd Feb is the earlier date, so we will consider that as your time of supply. 15th Jan 2022 and 26th Jan. So 25th is the earlier date, so your answer will be 25th Jan. And 7th March and 23rd Feb. Feb comes earlier, so your time of supply will be 23rd Feb 2021. Okay, very simple. So you have to keep in mind when there is no movement of goods, okay, date when the goods are made available and invoice, whichever is the earlier date, that will be your time of supply. That's rule number one, or the first type of sum when there is no movement of goods. I hope everyone have understood it. Very simple. Okay. Now we'll jump to the second type. Time of supply involving payment made to the supplier. Okay, so now there has to be some payment made in the question. So now let us see how to solve that sum with some rules. Okay, time of supply involving payment made to the supplier. The rules are it has to be earlier of goods made available to the recipient and date of invoice or the last date on which the invoice has been issued. Okay, so now in our question, they are giving you date of invoice, last date of invoice, payment to the supplier, credit in bank account. The moment you see payment in supplier's book, understand it is a sum involving payment made to the supplier. So in our case, date of invoice and last date of issue. Okay, there are no goods made available in the question. So date of invoice and last date of invoice. Okay, among these two, whichever is earlier will be your time of supply when we have payment made to the supplier, a sum based on payment made to the supplier. So your time of supply will be in this case 11th May and 12th May. So 11th is the earlier date. So my time of supply will be 11th May. 20th 20th July and 15th July. So 15th July is the earlier date. So 15th July is the answer. Okay, 26 8 and 28 8. 26 is the earlier date. That becomes the time of supply. 26 9 and 28 9. 28 and 26. Okay, so 26 is the earlier date. We have 28th 10, that is 28th October and 24th October. So 28th 24 is the earlier date, so 24th October will be your time of supply. And last 20th June and 22nd June. So 20th is the earlier date, so your answer will be 20th June. Okay, so again, very simple. Okay, you just have to remember the type of sum. How will you identify it? You have to look at this. Whenever there is payment in the supplier's book, it is always based on payment made to the supplier, and the rule is date of invoice or last date of invoice, whichever is earlier. That was second time. Now we'll jump to the third one. I hope everyone have understood this. Okay, third one, time of supply involving the movement of goods. Okay, very important from the exam point of view. This is very important from the point of view. Now the rule is when there is movement of good, date, it will again be the earlier of time of removal and date of invoice. If you look carefully in the question, there is date of invoice, date of removal. Okay, then there's delivery and payment. But the rule is the moment you see removal, understand it is movement of goods. Rule is date of invoice and invoice, whichever is earlier, or date of invoice and removal date, whichever is earlier, that will become your time of supply. So 26 Feb and 18 Feb, sorry, 26 December and 18 December. 18 is the earlier date, so my time of supply will be 18 December. 16th March and 14th March. 14th March is the earlier date. 6th Feb and 10th Feb. So 6th Feb is the earlier date, so we'll note down as 6th Feb. 25th May and 23rd May. So 23rd is the earlier date, we will note down that as the time of supply. Okay, again, very simple. Okay, you just have to follow the rules, and based on the rule, we just have to note down the date. Okay, there is no calculation as of in order to get the answers. Okay, it's just purely based on you have to you have to identify what type of sum it is, and you just have to follow those rules. Okay, so that was third when there is movement of goods. Next, time of supply in case of continuous supply of goods. Now remember, whenever there's continuous supply of goods, the column you have to identify from the column point of view. Okay, when there is continuous supply of goods, the time of supply will be earlier of date of invoice. So in the question, there will be date of invoice, date of statement of account. This is the most important part. Date of statement of account. This is important. The moment you see date of statement of account, remember it is continuous supply of goods, and date of payment. So now it is best of three. Okay, the earliest of three. The date of invoice, date of statement of account, and date of receipt of payment. Whichever is earliest in the continuous supply of goods, that will become your time of supply. Okay, so 15th November, 6th November, and 10th November. The earlier among them is, yes, 6th November. 4th October, and 6th October. So in our case, 4th is the earliest date. So earlier will be 4. 16 December, 12 December, 28 December. So the earliest is 16 December. 26 October, 25 Jan, and 25th Jan. So now these are in the year 2022. This is 2021. So yes, 2021 wala date will be the earliest. 15 December, 11 December, and 12th Jan. But that 12th Jan is of 2022. The earlier one we'll have to check from these two. So it will be, yes, 11th December. Okay, that's my time of supply under continuous supply of goods. Again, this is very simple. Just have to follow the particular rule. This was type based on continuous supply of goods. Okay, now the fifth type is time of supply of goods under RCM, also known as reverse charge mechanism. Now under time of supply under RCM, the rule is it has to be the earliest of date of receipts of good. Okay, so we will put the point. Okay, we have date of receipts of good. Date of payment. So we have date of payment and date immediately following 30 days from the date of issue. The date of issue is given of invoice. We need exactly 30 days ahead of that date. So we need one more column immediately, 30 days from A. So from invoice, calculate 30 days and we'll have to make a new column. And once you get that column of 30 days, so it was 20th December, so 30 days ahead will become 19 Jan 2022. Okay, once you get that, the rule is very simple. Okay, date of receipt of goods, date of payment, and 30 days from the date of invoice, whichever is earlier will be your time of supply. So 16th November, 29th November, and 19th Jan. The earliest is 16th November, so my time of supply will be 16th November. Next, 15th Feb, 14th Feb, and 16th March. So Feb is the earliest, so 14th Feb is your time of supply. Next, 30th 8th, 15th 15 2 and 23 9. So the earliest month is the Feb of month. So the date of supply or time of supply will be 15th Feb. Okay, next 24th August, 30th August, and 5th June. June is the earliest among them, so yes, June ka date will be the time of supply. Uh, July, we have 6th July, 6th August, and 5th August. July is the earliest, so my time of supply will be 6 7. Okay, so under RCM, remember you have to create another column which will be 30 days from the date of invoice, an immediate 30 days, and then you have to compare the column B, C, and D in order to get your time of supply. Okay, so now these are all your time of supply under goods. Now we will start how to solve sum when you have been given to find time of supply of services. Okay, only two types are there, so not a big thing. Chalo. Under that very first type, time of supply of service in normal cases, very important sum, okay, from the exam point of view. Okay, there are specific rules here now. The time of supply shall be earliest of number one. If the invoice is issued within the time as per section 31, that is 30 days from the date of provision, then the date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier, will be your answer. And if the invoice is not issued as per the section 31, then date of provision of service and the date of payment, okay, whichever is earlier, will be considered. Okay, so it looks a little complicated, but let's not. Okay, think of this very carefully. Okay, date of provision of service or date of service, date of invoice, date of payment. Three things are given to us. First rule is we'll have to create another column which will be 30 days from the date of provision, from the date of invoice. Okay, and called as time limit. This is 30 days from the date of invoice. So, sorry, this is 30 days from the date of provision of service. Okay, so this is important. Time limit for issue of invoice, the heading will be a time limit. It will be from the date of provision, whatever provision of service is there, 30 days ahead of that, get the dates. Now you have to make a comparison between invoice price and time limit. Okay, whether invoice is received within the time limit or not. Okay, we'll have to do that. And so you can get two answers. If yes, we'll have answer one, and if no, then there will be another answer for that. Okay, so check of this. Compare date of invoice with time limit. Your time limit was 15th October, date of invoice was 5th October. The rule is if it is, if it is earlier than the time limit or after time limit. Now if you look carefully, the date of invoice is before the time limit. So it is written that whether invoice is received within the time limit. Yes, it is within the time limit. It shouldn't go ahead. If it go ahead, then there's another rule. If it is before the time limit or on the time limit, there's another rule. Okay. So time limit. So answer is whether invoice is received within the time limit. Yes, because 5th October comes before 15th October. So we'll write yes. If yes, the rule is date of invoice and date of payment, whichever is earlier. Okay, so that is the comparison between B and C. So 5th October and 6th October, whichever is earlier, that will be 5th October. So my answer will be 5th October. Second one, your invoice is 5th November and time limit is also 5th November. So it is on the time. It is on the time. So I'll write yes, it is on the time. If it is on the time, the rule is invoice or payment, whichever is earlier. So 15th November and 21st October. So 21st October is my answer. Next, 26th November and 22nd November. 22nd was the limit. The invoice has crossed the limit, so it is not within the time limit. No. So if it is not, then the rule is date of provision and payment, whichever is earlier. So A and C में comparison में Okay, so invoice is not within the time limit. So if it is not, then it will be date of provision and date of payment. So 20th October and 30th November. October is the earlier date, so my answer will be 23rd October. Next, invoice is on 16th October and time limit is 5th November. So it is well in advance, well ahead. So yes, it is ahead. So if it is ahead, date of invoice, date of payment, whichever is earlier. So 16th October and 1st October. 1st October will be the answer. Last one, date of invoice is October 11 and the time limit is 10th November and 7th November. So it is after. So it hasn't been put within the limit, so no. So date of provision and date of payment, whichever is earlier, will be your time of supply. So we have 8th October and 16th November. So 8th October will be my final answer. This is very important from the exam point of view. Okay, time of supply of service in normal cases. Okay, I hope everyone have understood this. One last type, time of supply of services in case of reverse charge mechanism. Very simple. Date of payment as entered in the book. So we'll have earlier of date of payment, date on which payment is debited, debit in the bank account, and immediately 60 days from the date of issue. So from the date of issue of invoice, we'll have to create another table which will have 60 days ahead ka dates. Okay, from date of invoice exactly 60 days ahead. And now we have to just make a comparison in B, C, and D, whichever is earlier will be your time of supply. 16 Jan, 11 Jan, 15 Jan, 11 is the earliest, so 11 Jan. 11 Jan, 10 Jan, 15 Jan, so 10 is the earliest. 11th Feb, 17th Feb, 17th April. 11th Feb is the earliest. 27th Feb, 26th Feb, 27th March, 26th Feb is the earliest. 3rd April, 2nd April, and 5th April. 2nd April is the earliest. Okay, so this is how you all have to solve sum based on time supply of service in case of RCM. So these are all various types of sums and types of sums and the rules. Okay, how you all can solve those particular sums based on time of supply, or a very important topic from the exam point of view. I hope everyone have understood those topics. See that you all note down those topic headings along with the rules and try solving it once. Once you all solve it once and then pick up any sum from the textbook, you all will be able to solve those sums. Okay. Chalo. With that, we will be ending this video here. I hope everyone have understood it. Thank you.